I have no problem with many tactics, but urgent emails abound. A couple of weeks ago, somebody joined at MedicareForAll.org, and he said, well, I've made calls. I'll join you and send a letter once a month. You know, I made 40 calls to my U.S. rep in the last 30 days. I'm sorry, but people like that become a pest, and our movement becomes a pest. I mean, it's insane, all these urgent emails. There's a woman in Michigan who's overwhelmed with all the emails. I have no problems with many tactics if we had enough Americans who've even heard of single payer, much less heard of its benefits. There's been multiple healthcare now calls, national calls in the last 9 to 12 months. There's been at least one PDA national call. There's been a Dennis Kucinich call. And in all those, it was highlighted. The people around my state, the people I've contacted with in my community, they've never heard of single payer. It's a problem. We need knowledge and the numbers. It's just amazing to me. I have no problems with many tactics if we had enough Americans who are in this situation. Maybe we need short term, maybe for the year 2010, we need to focus on that so Americans know what the subject is. I'm just astonished. Thank you.
You have a question for him?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry. Implied question, I'll state it. I didn't hear any of you focus on this topic. I think it's critical. What about this topic? Please respond to that topic. We need knowledge and numbers.
I think that that's in some ways that's kind of the 500-pound or 800-pound gorilla in the room, because I think that our numbers are actually 150 million potential, because that's how many we know either are underinsured, uninsured, neglected, whose lives are crushed. But the problem is they've been fed a line of malarkey around what the problem is and who the problem is. Let's look at some of our brothers and sisters, and I come from the state of California, where we have multiple unions, and some of our leading service sector unions have thought that we got to protect these most conservative measures, and by protecting these measures, we're protecting our members. But in fact, what's happening is the economy is destroying job and healthcare delivery. But that's not the conversation that's going on in America. So I think that a part of this conference has to talk about how are we going to take the challenge to engage the 150 million people who got a with private, corporate-run healthcare and being the only damn country on the planet that still allows the corporations to deliver this. If we can redesign this so we tap into the discontent and anger of the American people, that as our economy is changing, this is the 21st century civil rights, human rights issue. That's the reframing, in my estimate, that we've got to begin to move to so that we can tie it with economic sustainability and viability. But to a degree that we think that it's just about the people in this room, I think it's a losing game. Because this isn't just about us talking to or preaching to the converted. It's about shaking the things up. And so we clearly have an army. We have an army that's ready, but they are misdirected as to who is the enemy. But you know, Americans have been there before. And other Americans like ourselves that had to help wake them up and redirect and say, we have to do, it's time to move in our own self-interest. So I think that's the challenge, brother. And it's not just to one group, it is to all of us. And I hope that that addresses this.
Yeah, and I want to echo that and also say that with corporate media controlling messages, it's really hard for us to get our message out, which is why it's so important for us to begin grassroots organizing to run for office. Grassroots organizing to challenge the people who vote the wrong way. That gets the conversation going. If you've got a credible political organization where you are a credible political campaign to run for Congress or to run for the Senate, to challenge one of these people, challenge Bob Casey. Somebody needs to challenge Bob Casey, and somebody needs to, and what?
We had Chuck in the race against him when it started.
Yeah, really, yeah, right, yeah, exactly. Barbara Hafer would have been great in Pennsylvania. Someone should challenge Ben Nelson of Nebraska. Even if they lose, you know, you get the conversation started that way. The corporate media can't control everything, at least not yet.
Sure, sir.
Next question.
Just real quick to respond to what Terry just said, just quickly. we've got to stop talking to ourselves. We have to get on the same page. We want to do a simple thing in PDA, as I said, the third Wednesday of every month, buy a roll of Healthcare Not Warfare stickers, stand in front of your congressional member office, and show the economic impact. So next time we call our own meeting, next time we have a PDA meeting, set up PDA just meeting again, we're going to go out into the streets and try to reach out from where we've already been talking to ourselves in the echo chamber. So I think we got to just challenge ourselves, as Terry said, to get out of our own organization and reach out and to work together to do that.
Thank you. Terry made a good point tonight on the cost of insuring women. There are a lot of families out there who do not believe that when they are told. So again, we have to convince these people that when they're paying for their insurance, yes, paying for the females in the family, it doesn't really matter what the age, costs more money. Okay.
But they're worth it.
I know. I love them. Okay. So my point and my question will be, as Ethel has stressed this evening, the women's issues are very, very important. They're overturning Roe versus Wade through the back door is just unacceptable. But also the economics of this whole thing. We don't hear enough about that. The thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that could be saved, and they could be building homes, rehabilitating homes, buying a fuel-efficient car, taking their sweetie out to dinner, something. I think that's a perspective that we have to go for. Yes, healthcare is a human right, but so are a lot of other things attached to this, and not to forget this nation's economy at this point, the whole damn economy, is this insurance thing is key to recovery. It used to be just about jobs. Okay, I'm getting there. I haven't got the question. So, how are we going to get this economics issue and keep preaching it till people understand it? That's my question.
Quentin in our board meeting talked about some of the different tactics that probably we're going to talk about all weekend. We're using leadership development tools, we're using Truth Commission tools, we're using teach-ins, all of those things aimed at waking up, shaking up, helping to get not only speaking the truth to power, but getting our people informed from the unfed, from the just milk of mistruth. But there's also public events like this. There is an event that is coming up in Detroit, Michigan, June 20th. I don't know if you all are aware of it. From the 20th through, I think, the 23rd or 25th. It is the U.S. Social Forum. Now, this is being hosted by poor people, former auto workers, homeless folks, who are going to have a stage to spotlight precisely these concerns. Now, from my standpoint, this needs to be about the business that we help elevate what are the kinds of solutions that we as working and poor people need. And we need to work in the weeks and months going forward so that the agendas we're talking about here are about shaking that up. It's an opportunity where international organizers, as well as people here in our country, get to talk about what kind of new social contract do we need in order to ensure that we can live lives with dignity. But this notion that it's somebody else's job or somebody else's role, no, that's what this whole conference is about. And I think it is about exchanging experiences on how we might get there. But that's the stage that we're at this point. And I think we want to hear your ideas. We want to keep just continuing to feed this notion that it will we are the leaders we're looking for. It's not going to be someone else, but the question is going to be on many, many levels, and especially on the state battles. To me, are we going to accept them forcing more workers into abject poverty while these damn corporations can live like royalty and kings? Because that's what's going on. And we've got to raise which direction our country is going to be in. So that U.S. Social Forum and probably many other kinds of public events are going to be an opportunity to highlight this. And I'm especially proud of that a Poor People's Organization is one of the big five organizations in Detroit, Michigan that are co-hosting that.